They're up first. The World Cup pool buddies. I'm not saying they'd fix the match later on, but
absolutely not.
Get them on first. No social media like antics later on and all that, because Matchroom know what they're doing, don't they? So
yeah,
get that match out of the way and it's all good. So, well, just as I say that, Neil's misses a rel. He's missed quite a lot of balls this week, Michael, I think.
Yeah, there's been a few players like that who generally have played really well, but they've had a bit of a tendency to just have the odd unexpected miss, and Niels Fyan has missed that 3 into the side by a huge margin over on the other table. They're good pals, those two. I know that Mark was certainly in the previous days playing in a shirt he'd borrowed from Niels Fyan. I don't know if it's still the same shirt. I hope not. He's been here a few days now, and anyway, we'll keep you up to date on that. There is Chris Melling. We've heard a lot from him in the last few days because he's been in the commentary box with us. In fact, he's liked it so much he's come and sat with us even when he's not been playing. But we haven't actually seen him since last Monday, and I know he took a break from practice but got down to some hard work yesterday. And it'll be interesting to see. All these other players have been playing in the intervening days. He hasn't hit a ball in anger for almost a week now. Chris Melling then gets us underway in the opening match on the final day.
Yeah, well, I was coming down into the arena this morning about 8:30, and Chris was walking up the stairs with his cue, and he's very much that type of guy where he likes to pretend he doesn't practice, but he'd been down for a cheeky couple of hours, and why not?
Yesterday, Albania versus England was a Football World Cup qualifier. Today, the rivalry is renewed on the pool table because Melling's opponent is Eklent Kaci, one of the rising stars of the game.
Yeah, he's got a lock-up safe here in behind the 8 ball. He could even cut this in, but I think early doors he fancies getting the hook behind the 8. This is an interesting matchup. Yeah, he's got the hook. Ideally, he would have liked that tight on the 8, but it's never easy to keep, you know, locking your opponents up on the ball. I think the key thing is he just gets Melling in trouble. Yeah, it seems like a lifetime ago since we've seen Chris. Such a great cueist and plays off instinct, and of course he's got himself a new nickname, the Shotmaker, just as he lines up a possible... He's trying to play the 1 onto the 9 and the 9 into the bottom left corner. Well, and he didn't get over the 8 ball, so he'll not be happy about that.
Well, last Monday he was playing great. Spent a week in the box with us. He's had this shot and a dry break. It's not a very good advertisement for hanging around with us, Carl.
Eklent Kaci, of course, he qualified on his 2nd attempt, and he looks to be playing some real quality pool. He's not missed any easy balls, and he's been breaking good. Still only a very young man. Don't let the big beard fool you. He's still only 20, 21, is he, Michael?
22.
22?
Yeah, he was born in January 1999. I described him as a rising star, and in that case, both of those words are correct, because he already is a star, but he's still very much on the rise. An established Mosconi Cup player now. He's gone deep in some of the very biggest tournaments in the game.
Yeah, I think if there's one player in the group Kaci's not really a fan of playing, I think it is Chris, to be honest. He's of course lost to him in the group stages on day 1 where Melling went on to win. That's a good opening pot though, because he played a poor positional shot to get on that 3, and when you knock that type of pot in, it just settles you down.
Yeah, they met twice last Monday. In the round robin section, it was Kaci who won on his way to finishing first in the group table. But when they met again in the semis, Melling was dominant, and he won by 5 racks to 1. Kaci did then get through the next day. Finished second in the table on that occasion. And then beat Niels Fine and Kelly Fisher in the knockout stage. So he's had a long wait as well.
Yeah, this is a nice rack if Kaci can go on and clear the table, because it's one of them types of finishes where the cue ball's got to travel around the table. And here you see an example. This is, you know, if he just had to pop this ball, he would play like a little drag shot, but he's got to punch it in and come over. Anywhere in the middle of the table will leave him a shot on this 7. Doesn't need to get over to the opposite side of the rail. You can see Michael, such a clean potter of the ball. Everything, you know, Kaci's one of them players where sometimes players run the table out, but 2 or 3 balls have not gone in clean. Kaci's balls going clean.
And he generated a lot of cue power there, and like most players who do that, he made it look effortless.
Sensible shot. Many players would try and draw the cue ball back, but that makes the pocket a little bit tighter, so he takes his medicine, plays a stop shot. Over on table 2, Mark Bijster Boss is leading the All Dutch Battle 1 rack to 0. Niels is at the table though to tie it up.
And an early twist here, just when it looked as though Kaci was going to make an impressive start, because it wasn't straightforward at all. Would have been a good run out to have made, but he hasn't made it.
Wow, that is a real poor miss from Kaci. It was as good as over the pocket, and it's a strange one because he's potted 3 more difficult balls in this rack.
So Chris Melling looked as though he was going to lose the opening rack. Kaci would have been breaking for a 2-0 lead. But a surprising miss on the 8 ball allows the Yorkshireman back in, and he leads 1-0. Cards on the table then, Carl. Who's going to win this tournament tonight?
First of all, I'm going to call my top 4, and then
okay, yeah,
I want to do my prediction, if that's okay
yeah,
with
that's
you.
good, yeah.
And I'll give you the same, obviously, deal.
Opportunity, yeah.
So I'm going to say Melling.
Yeah.
Alcade.
Who won all 8 matches in the group he came through.
I'm going to say Niels.
Okay. And your 4th semi-finalist?
I'm going to say Albin.
So Albin Ocean. Right, I'll tell you what, before we pick our actual winners, let's leave that till after the next track.
Yep.
So I'm going to pick my 4. I'm going to say Melling, Bijsterbosch, Kaci, and Fine. So we've both got Melling and Fine. So we've both got 2 the same and 2 different. So let's hold that thought for a moment, and we'll both pick our actual tournament winners. So I'll keep that written down. We'll dig that out around 8 or 9 o'clock tonight when we see who's made it.
Obviously, I'm 1-0 up because you picked Billy.
Oh, hang on a minute.
And my guy went further.
Whoa, hang on. That wasn't the only day that we picked.
I forgot about the other day. So.
Yeah, you would do, wouldn't you? Typical sportsman, only remember the wins. So here we go then. Kaci really should have been 1-0 up. Instead, he's 1-0 down as he breaks off in the second.
Now, do the balls come out and punish him after that poor miss? It's always kind of a bit of justice when they do. And they do. Doesn't have an easy shot. Possible bank shot into the side. I think there's a lot of value in playing that. Always, it's not nice to see, if you're Chris, when your opponent kind of misses the 8 or the 9 and you get up and pot it and then they break and they all go over the pocket and he just rolls them in. You always want your opponent, when he's made a mistake like that, to have a difficult shot, because it just applies the pressure. He will go for the bank shot in the side. Needs a bit of luck with the cue ball. Needs a bit of luck with the cue ball, and he's not got it. Whenever you run into the balls, you need a little bit of luck.
Yeah, he looked good in the first rack, with one obvious exception. Got a bit of rhythm going, but hasn't really had a chance to do it so far in this rack. Not had the running on his first couple of shots. Oh, that'll do though. And is he on the 3?
Wonderful kick shot from Kaci there, really was. purposely played off that rail. You'll often see that using the 2 rails. Gives you a bigger target, and this is not easy. You can play it in the side, but he's going into the 9 ball. So if he plays it into the corner, this has got to be hit with a bit of venom. Or you could just play a stop shot, Carl, and leave a thin 4. Worrying signs for Kaci, this.
Yeah, that one was thinner than Neil's Fine, so not entirely surprising he missed it, but just hasn't quite got going yet. Like I say, it's been in and out at times. There's been a few moments when it looks like he's got a bit of rhythm going early on, but hasn't seen it through yet. And what a chance now for Melling. Looked like he was going to lose the opening rack on his own break. He didn't, and now he could win one against the break here.
Yeah, and I think in Group 1, Melling finished 4th in the group, and I don't think he played that good on day 1. I think it's fair to say he would openly admit that. He made some silly errors, but it's like in this match, yeah, he's had a jump shot. Anyone can miss that jump shot, but it's the way he's won these 2 racks. The kind of gift racks, aren't they?
Yeah, it was a bit textbook, really, the way he got through on the opening day. As you say, didn't play his greatest. Lost 3 matches in a row at one stage, but still managed to just get through to the semi-finals and upped his game a bit then and got through. And what a fine start here. He leads Eklent Kaci by 2 racks to 0. So back to what we were talking about, Carl. From your 4, who's your pick for the title?
Oh, do you know your pick? Because I'm still thinking, me. It's a tricky one.
Well, I don't want us both to pick the same person, so that's why I've asked you to go first.
I'm going to go with David Alcade.
Okay. Is that just because he was so solid in winning all the matches?
Not really. I just think it was a close call between David and Chris. I just think under the cosh on this TV table, I think it's all about potting the ball under pressure, and I feel like they're the 2 guys who are going to handle it a little bit better today. So it was between them 2, but I'm just going to edge towards David just because he's won 2 World Masters, and that's my pick.
So Alcade and Melling were the 2 you were choosing from?
Yeah, but I'm going to go with David.
Okay. I'm going to go for Chris Melling, actually, the other one of your 2.
Yeah.
And for me, it was between him and Mark Bijsterbosch. And I'll explain my thinking on Bijsterbosch in a moment, why I think he could be a real danger today, albeit that he is 2-1 down against Niels Fine, despite Fine missing an absolute sitter of a 4-ball. Another unexpected miss for him during that 3rd rack.
So we had similar thought processes then with Melling, didn't we?
Yeah, I mean, look, Melling is fairly basic. I mean, he's just a very good, experienced winner.
That's not too bad. He did lose the cue ball. It was kind of going towards the middle. But he's got a good opportunity. And this is the thing with Melling's game. This type of shot where I just know he's going to pot this type of shot time and time again.
I think the week he's had has been really good, actually, the way he's handled it. He didn't just sit in his room the whole week. Came down, did lots of commentary. And when he wasn't doing that, he was sitting chatting to the other players and various other people at the tournament.
The old commentator's curse has come in there. As soon as I said it, I thought, oh, he's going to miss this now.
Sorry, mate.
I know Chris has put the little extension on his cue. He was telling me yesterday he's been practicing and he's put it on and he seems to like the feel of it. I said, well, I'm going to watch how long you keep that on for, because if you don't play with the extension and you start missing a few balls or you lose the cue ball, it starts to play on your mind, and I think he'll end up taking that off. Kaci needs a bit of luck here, and boy, did he find it. Wow, he's struggling early on in this match.
Yeah, early signs were good, but that missed 8-ball really seems to have been a turning point in his fortunes. I think as well, Melling's attitude to this tournament has been good. I said this yesterday. I think the players who've taken the best attitude to this and having all the matches and the long days and everything and are just viewing it as being a great opportunity to play again are the ones who have prospered the most. And he has been the epitome of that attitude.
Yeah, that's a good point. He's come in every day. He's helped us out and, you know, he's not moaned about the fact that he's qualified on day one and he's got to stay here in the bubble for a week. He's just got on with it and, you know, he took it on the chin and I think he will definitely make the semi-finals. I've just got that feeling. And of course, you know, we've got great players. Anyone can kind of... Anyway, Mark Bijsterbosch after the break.
We'll discuss him. Eklent Kaci, though, has closed in on Chris Melling here. He's off the mark. He still trails, but now it's 2-1.
Sporting events should not be held until there are no new cases.
Well, that's right up there with the... No crowd, but who needs them? Just in terms of pure potting ability, he's just one of the best we've ever seen.
Oh my word. Incredible.
What a power-packed partnership it is. Start the engraving process.
Underway now on the final day of the inaugural Predator Championship League. It's winners group. Chris Melling is up against Eklent Kaci. Melling leading by 2-1 at the moment. And as we watch this match unfold, I can tell you that on the other table, Niels Feijen is now 3-1 up against Mark Bijsterbosch in the clash of the Netherlands World Cup teammates. I actually picked Bijsterbosch as one of the most likely players to win it. My reasoning for that, Carl, you were asking me about it, is very simply that this is the first year of this event. So all we have to go on in terms of patterns is the equivalent format in Championship League snooker. And what we've seen so many times over the years in that, I'd say it's almost half the years that's been played, and it goes back to 2008, is that the guy who wins the last group so often carries that momentum through and then ends up winning the winners group. Now, I know it's a different game, but it's very similar principles, really. So that's why I was picking him. I just went for Melling in the end, though. And one of the reasons, actually, is just, as you alluded to there, he plays very quickly. And when it's a long day, that suits really, really well, because it ends up not taking much out of you. And again, if we can draw the comparison, to Championship League snooker, the most successful player in that is a man who also likes to really get on with it, and that's Judd Trump. So, on the basis of all that, I'm picking Melling as my tip and Bosch as a useful outsider.
Here's me thinking you picked Mark because he won the first rack.
Yeah, well, it's not going so well now, is it? 3-1 down. But early days yet, and I mean, look, we've seen it so often that a good start to the round robin stage can really be a false dawn. It has been for a number of players, so equally so, if you get off to a bad start, lose a match or two, you can really still have plenty of time to turn it round. That's the beauty of this format. So Kaci off and running now in rack 4.
Yeah, and a little bit of breaking news. Kaci was actually 5 minutes late to the table. I'm not so sure how you can be late when there's nothing really going on, so he's obviously been up late watching Netflix or something. And
yeah, he's been spending a lot of time on TikTok, apparently. Now, I barely know what that is, Carl. You're very savvy about all this sort of stuff, so that probably means more to you.
Yeah, I think even TikTok is out of my depths, pal. He's made a few mistakes early on in this match. This is an important few balls coming up for Kaci's start to the day. He needs to, you know, run these balls and show Chris, you know, he's not going to keep giving these easy racks away. Coming up next on table 1 after this match, Japan's superstar Naoki Oi gets his campaign underway. He plays, well, Mr. Pool, Albin Ocean.
I think Albin's played more pool in the last week than most of us have in a lifetime. 44 matches it took him to finally clinch his place in the winners group. Well, it's early stages in this match. We're possibly not even halfway through it yet, but we've seen several momentum shifts already. Wasn't that long ago, Melling was breaking, looking to go 3-0 up. And now, this break and run from Kaci levels it all up at 2 apiece. How far do you think it can go in the game, Carl? I mean, he's had a pretty good start to his career. He's gone deep, as I say, in a lot of big tournaments. Played in some Mosconis, just as we watch Fine leading Bosch here. But where do you see Kaci's been at now in his career? What does he need to improve on? What ways does he need to change if he's to become one of the all-time greats?
Well, I think he needs to show up on time. That would always help. I think he's got everything, to be quite honest. I think he's just, you know, he's won big tournaments, but he's not quite won the tournament on TV. So he's won tournaments that we have the same, you know, the same players, the same field, but you just need that win in a Matchroom arena for me, you know, whether it's World Cup of Pool, World Pool Masters, of course, now the US Open and the World Pool Championship. So, you know, there's more Matchroom events for him to win, and I think he's going to be the type of player, once he gets one of them wins, a bit like Kazakis, the heat is off you. Once your name is on the trophy, it never gets taken off, and you can relax.
Yeah, you look at yourself differently, and everyone else looks at you differently as well. Niels Fine has been world champion, so no issues there in terms of winning big titles. And he's flying here. Fine, of course, has also been a 2-time World Masters champion. 4-1 up now against Mark Bosch. Melling to break, 2-2.
Losing the cue ball a lot over to the pocket, that's a little bit worrying on the break, because you need a bit of luck when you're doing that. The idea is you try and park the cue ball in the centre, so he's slightly coming across the cue ball and the head ball, and that makes it go towards the side. And at some point, if he keeps doing that, he will scratch. And there you see he doesn't have a shot, so he's got to play a push.
Push out.
If you're tuning in for the first time, the push out is basically after the break. Any player can play a push out. So there you see Chris just rolls the cue ball down to the bottom rail. You can do anything on the push. Of course, you don't want to scratch and put the cue ball in the pocket. And then the incoming player, which is now Kaci, can either play this shot or pass it back to Chris. And let's see what Kaci decides. He's passing it back, and I think because whenever you get the cue ball and the object ball in line with the corner pocket, usually the double hit is on. So if Chris is going to bounce the cue ball up and down, he will have to play this. Well, he's going to have to play it thin or with a bit of side. So he needs to avoid the double hit. Chris, I'm sure you know about the double hit there.
It's funny, if he was still sitting in here with us and someone else did that, he'd probably be having a go at them. It's so easy in here, isn't it?
Yeah, he'd be drilling them, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a funny one, that. That's probably why Kaci didn't want to play the shot, because the only way you can avoid that contact on the one is spinning it. Needs this cue ball to run on, and it's landed short of pace, and that's a poor shot. He's got loads of room for error. Even if he comes right down to the left side of the 8, he can, you know, he can still pop the 3. So he's not quite woke up yet as Kaci.
Yeah, I mean, this is always the sign of a player who isn't quite with it, that most of it is fine, but it's just the odd unexpected error in there that's giving him away. The fact that he's still basically rubbing the sleep out of his eyes. He's very much a nocturnal animal, likes to stay up very late and sleep very late during the day.
Yeah, and this is the problem. When you run out of position and you're trying to play a shot to get back in line, you often leave the cue ball where he's just done there because he's too straight. So now he's going to have either rip this in with loads of draw off the top rail, or he's going to play for the bank. If he plays for the bank, he can't miss the 4. If he rips it in, he can miss the 4. And as you've seen, the 4 didn't go in clean. Took a little wobble, so he'll be delighted that did fall in, and now he's got to power this in. And now he's left a little thin one, but he's fine there. This is all about cue ball. Could risk playing it slow and play the black in the corner, or you might spin it round for the 8 in the side. So he's playing it slow. Needs the cue ball to slow down, though. Needs this to slow down. Yeah, this is very, very scrappy, this from Kaci. He could have played that with a bit more draw and played the 8 in the right-hand side centre. Now he's got to travel around the world with a cue ball.
In a way, though, if he can go 3-2 up against a player of Melling's quality without looking like he's even started to play yet, that's perhaps a good sign.
Yeah, he's got a tricky little shot here, though, and he's already missed the ball in this match. And I think it was in this pocket. So he handled that well, but cue ball's coming round near the 50-yard line. So this is a little tester, and it's been a very scrappy rack, and he'll be feeling it on this 9 ball because of this. Always stays very still, does Kaci. Very tidy snooker player.
Ooh, but not so tidy there. You called it, Carl. You said he'd be feeling it, and you could see it all over him there. What a moment this could be.
Yeah, you can't just keep potting your way out of trouble. You know, your cue ball has got to be... It's got to be on a dime, and now Melling with a long 9, and it has to be said, he's getting away with murder in this match. But he's doing what he needs to do. He's mopping up the mistakes from his opponent.
So many of the players, you can see it, they seem to spend as much time in the gym and out running as they do practicing their pool, and that's obviously the way it is in the future. But Chris, he's a good Yorkshireman. He likes his good living. He's 42 years of age. He's real old school, and he's never going to change now.
Well, Chris is a keen runner.
You see, the other day now, you said about me doing triathlons, and someone actually, I think it was Niels, actually said, I believe you do triathlons, and you were actually joking about it, and he thought you were being serious. So Does Chris actually do a bit of running?
No, Chris definitely doesn't do any running.
You see, you're good at keeping a straight face when you say those things,
Yeah, I know.
Carl.
You've got to have a bit of fun. No, Chris's favourite machine in the gym is the vending machine. No, we're good friends. We like having a laugh. But you're right. But the thing is with Chris is he's such a talented cueist. So, you know, it's like the 9-ball. He just got down and smashed it in like it was a hanger. And, you know, he's always going to have that cue action. And that is his strength, and he plays to that strength.
You have to be good friends with someone to make a joke like that about them.
I've only made it about 50 times a year, only, that's all.
Yeah. No, he's a great guy, Chris, and it's been fantastic to have his company in the commentary box since he came through last Monday. And when I say that about him, I mean it in the best possible sense. He's flying the flag for the old school pool players.
Well, the other thing as well, Michael, is, you know, when you're playing sports for a living, it's between your ears anyway. It's all in your head. You can go to the gym, you can run. You know, Yasmin Ocean, she does triathlons, and, you know, she didn't qualify. And Ralph Souke, when I showed up, was running around the building, and he didn't qualify. It's all between your ears. And this is what Kaci's got to do now. He's got to settle himself down. Hopefully he gets a shot. And he's got to run out the table, and he's being punished. He's making mistakes. He kind of deserves to work for his racks when you've just missed a 9-ball like he did. I do love to see that, Michael, I won't lie. I kind of bugs me a little bit when they make a mistake and they break and get such an easy layout. That sort of winds me up a little bit.
You believe in justice in the game, Carl?
I do. Well, I love sports, I love darts, I love snooker, I love golf, and if you're showing signs of nerves and you've made a mistake, them type of games, you have to get back up, and you're always faced with, you know, a tricky long red or a, you know, a double or something like that. And with pool, often you see it, they break off and they get an easy table, and they can soon forget about the mistake. And Kaci's got work to do. In the 6th. So I think he's trying to get the cue ball in behind the 8, but he's close to the scratch. He's completely misjudged this, and, well, he's got away with murder there because he was trying to go off the bottom rail and in behind the 8. So as the cue ball was coming round, he would have thought he scratched.
Chris Melling, World 8-ball champion 20 years ago this year. And then he won it again a couple of years after that. Switched his attentions more to 9-ball in the years which followed. Won the China Open 10 years ago this year. $40,000 first prize there. And then he focused on snooker for a number of years, but in recent times he's come much more back into pool and picked up where he left off, really. He's had considerable success since dropping off the snooker tour.
Oh, we're on table 2. The all Dutch battle goes the Terminator's way. He beats his good buddy Mark Bijsterboss 5 racks to 2.
Yeah, good start for Niels Fine. He missed a couple of very easy balls in that match, but still got the job done.
Wonderful safety shot there from Chris, really was. That was the type of shot Kaci, you know, the line Chris coming out behind the 8. That's what Kaci was trying to do. Chris played it to perfection. Wonderful shot. And now he's in a complete world here because that 6th ball is a big ball. He's got to miss it to the left or to the right. And, well, he's just got to hit the 3, and he could maybe play this soft and actually hook Chris back behind the 6, but I think he's just got to hit this. Well, he's playing it slow, so he's trying to go off the top rail, and he's hit the 6. That was always going to be the danger. Now, has he been fortunate here, Michael?
Yeah, I think he's had a real stroke of luck there.
Now, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say it may not be as expensive as it looked like being.
Yeah, Chris can't play the pot, but he could get Kaci back in a lot of trouble. He could stun him behind the 6, send the 3 round the table. If Chris was playing an exhibition, he'd bank the 3 in the corner, but of course it's not an exhibition, and that's the sensible shot. He's just nudged the 6 a little bit safe, though.
Yeah, and sometimes leaving your opponent a good safety can be more punishing for you when you make a foul than if you leave an easy pot on.
Yeah, and he's got a big target here. He's going to hit just above the left centre pocket with a bit of spin, and the angle it's coming in at, it's hard to see Kaci not hitting this 3, to be honest. Unless he slides next to it, yeah. He's always fancied him. He was going to hit the 3 there. So this rack is... it's still up for grabs with that tricky green 6 up to the right on pocket because of the brown 7.
Yeah, it's a nervy start, and a lot of that may just be down to the fact that they've both been waiting so long. Melling's had to wait pretty much a week now. Kaci last played last Tuesday. They've had a lot of time to think about the winners group and build up to it, and it might feel a bit strange actually getting up in the morning to play a match again.
Yeah, Chris just tried to avoid the middle point there to sneak up behind the 9, and because he caught the point, it's not gone very safe. Next up on table 2, Mark Bice, the boss, will stay on that table. He is playing 2-time World Pool Masters champion David Alcade, unbeaten in the event as well, might we add.
Well, on the day he got through, he was unbeaten, but obviously he'd been involved the previous day as well, so there were some defeats in there, but we know what you mean, Carl.
It's been a long week.
It has.
I need to start getting all my paper lined up like you, Michael. Such a professional.
Listen, you take care of the shots. I'll deal with the information. It's worked well all week, Carl.
Yeah, I need to lay off that information.
Too much of it can be a bad thing.
Nice shot there, though. Come round at the nice angle, but he's got decisions to make now. Does he play, try and knock this out, or does he play for the safe? If he does try and disturb these balls, he could scratch, because he could clip off the left side of the 7 and scratch in the corner. Yeah, so he's got to be careful of the scratch, and I'll tell you what, if he can cut that ball in, he'll be delighted. Looks quite thin though. He's got such an easy safety as well, but it looks like he's playing the cut. If he does play the cut, it looks like the cue ball will be travelling quite fast. Yeah, that's not too bad, but he's going to be a little bit straight on this ball, so he still isn't out in this rack. He needs a good shot here. Very easy to under it this shot, and that will be in his brain, so sometimes you can over it. Well, he's pinched some of the pocket and he's really come over there and cheated the pocket, so that's nice. Didn't think he could have got the cue ball over there.
Nothing's coming easy to him, but still looks likely to level again. And now it looks like job done. 3-3 then. It's developing into one of those matches that whoever ends up winning it might end up wondering how on earth they've managed to do it. But someone's going to win it in just a moment.
This championship is being played with the new Aramith tournament set. Featuring a unique molecular structure, it guarantees razor-sharp precision and unsurpassed longevity. Unquestionably the best pool balls in the world, this set is available in a TV and a value pack version, as well as in the new My Aramith Ranger of Ball and Q cases. Now you can bring and play with the best ball set everywhere you go. My Aramith, bringing new dimensions to your billiards experience.
Mark Boisterbosch has just had a really bad miss on the 6 when he was 2 balls away from taking the opening rack against David O'Cady on the other table. So it looks as though the man from Spain is going to lead 1-0, and indeed he does. Back here, we're still in the first match of the day on the main table, and that man, Eklent Kaci, has just drawn level at 3-all against Chris Melling. Both made so many mistakes though, Carl.
Yeah, it's been a funny start to the day, but you know, it's to be expected. It's not all going to be perfection. Both players know how important it is to start with a win as well.
Yeah, Melling actually got off to a flyer last Monday. Beat Ralph Suke 5-0 in his opening match. And then he won in a hill finish against Chris Robinson after that. So that meant that when he went on that run of 3 straight defeats, he already had some wins on the board, and that kept him in it. It meant that if he won his last match, he could get through, and he did against Kelly Fisher. And then, as I was saying, really moved up a level then to see off Eklent Kaci and Alban Ocean, arguably the 2 leading pre-tournament favourites in the semi-final and final.
Yeah, we've got an interesting situation happening here as well, because Chris, you know, it's 3-all, so you would think both players will be happy, but Chris will be the one who won't be as happy as Kaci, because his opponents missed a lot of balls, played some bad saves and missed the kick. So there you see the cue ball flirting with that side again. He needs to work on this break, because he's not going to be happy, but you can't keep losing the cue ball near the side and expecting to get, you know, the pool look, if you like, because he's dicing with death over there.
That's his 4th break. He hasn't run out from the break once in this match. He clearly isn't going to here either, in all probability. So it's hard to get away with that when you're at this sort of level. It's a high level in this tournament anyway, but overall you have to think it's a step up now. The overall depth of quality, bearing in mind we're now in the winners group. It's going to be a tough school today, and both of them will have to up their game if they're to have a chance.
Kaci, your option?
Well, let's have a look. What? Yeah, I can't see Kaci playing this. There's no value in Kaci playing the jump shot here. I'm very surprised at Chris there. He's putting all his eggs in one basket. There's nothing safe on the table, so he's going all out for the... Well, he brought his jump cue. Well, he's kicking at this. I'll tell you what he's playing here. He's going to try and clip off the edge of the 1 and pot the 9 ball. His nickname's the shot maker. This will be a beauty.
Such a Q Sports all-rounder. 8 ball, 9 ball, snooker, as I was saying. He was once ranked in the top 80 in the world at snooker. You have to be an exceptional player to do that.
Very low percentage shot there from Chris. You're not going to keep knocking them in. Now, Kaci's got a decision to make. He can pot the 1 in the top right corner, or I'm wondering if he can just draw the cue ball back and pot the 9. I mean, that is on. So I don't think It's up to him, but I think if it goes past the 6, you've got to pop the ball in the corner. Of course, if the one ball doesn't go past the 6, then I think he'll be drawing into the 9, and I think that tells a story. Whenever the players are queuing low, they're drawing the cue ball back. So Kaci's chasing the 9. Kaci was chasing the 9, so he's a little bit undecided. I think he's playing safe. He's going to run the cue ball in behind the pink 4. Needs to get this right though. Needs it to be touching, and he wants the one ball away from the pocket. Yeah, and you could just see his head went down a bit, because where the one ball has landed, he's made that a big target, and Chris he's got half a chance of potting this.
If Kaci was flowing a bit and looking a bit more confident, Carl, do you think he would have played the combination?
Yeah, I do. I really do. I think his instinct was the combo, and he's changed his mind, and he might live to regret this, because this is a big ball to hit. Where's the 9? He's fluked the 9!
He's got the 9!
Oh my! Chris Melling!
Well,
is this your day?
What an eventful match this has been already. Kaci just moments ago was lining up an ambitious combination, drawing back for the 9, decided against it, played the safety, and look what Melling has done. He's fluked the 9. And now he leads 4-3.
Well, I mean, listen, it's all about coulda, woulda, shoulda, but you could see Kaci line up to play the 9 ball, and if I'm being honest, he should have gone for that shot. You should always play your instinct shot. It wasn't a difficult shot to draw back for the 9, and I think that shows you the headspace Kaci's in. He's woke up late and he's not quite with it.
Yeah, and you've got to be aggressive, you've got to be attacking in this game. There's not much future really in going against your instincts. So now Kaci is breaking with his opponent on the hill. He doesn't look happy, does he?
He doesn't look happy, but I don't think it's so much the fluke. I think he's not happy with himself. I think he knows he should have chased the 9. I do believe he would have made the 9. It wasn't that difficult. I know Chris got lucky, but just don't let your opponent back to the table, pal.
Yeah, he's got a long gap now before his next match, and whatever happens now, win or lose, I think he needs to go off, get himself some coffee, maybe a power nap.
And it goes from bad to worse. He loses the cue ball straight in the side pocket. And this is a nice split. It's all about cue ball control. Chris Melling, he has a chance to win his opening match.
And again, similar to what we were saying about Kaci earlier, if Chris Melling gets out of here, having beaten one of the real favourites for this by 5 racks to 3, without having played at all well and made quite a few mistakes, even allowing for the fact that Kaci clearly isn't entirely with it, it's almost like he's been gifted one early on. He'll be thinking, well, if I can just start playing well, what kind of results can I get then? Every win is going to be so priceless today. And Melling has a chance to get his first one here straight off.
Well, let me just remind you, Michael, Kaci was in your pick of 4 and he wasn't in mine.
There you go. It's all about the winner, though.
Cue ball's close to the side, Christopher. That's fine. Just hit above the jaw. So he's looking good here. And this is where Chris is, you know, this is his bread and butter.
Well, your pick for the title this morning was David Al-Qaedi. He's going well in his opening match, leading Mark Bijsterbosch by 2 racks to 0. Al-Qaedi is looking for his 9th win in a row.
So he's got a lovely angle here. He'll just play up onto the side rail.
And after an eventful 45 minutes or so, it's all over. England beat Albania on the football pitch yesterday. Same again on the pool table today. Chris Melling off to a winning